Thank you, Sam. Wow, what an amazing turnout. I mean, this is really, Kenton is just an energized and really exciting neighborhood. And, you know, having the new mayor is emblematic of the fact that this is really a neighborhood on the move and on the rise. And it's not just about the future, it's also about fulfilling commitments made in the past. And as Sam mentioned, we've been promising this community for a long time a new library. In fact, it's been more than 25 years since the third North Portland Library closed. And really ever since then, Multnomah County has been saying, we're going to give you a new library. And I'm happy to say that it's going to happen, and it's going to happen soon. Now, for those of you who haven't been tracking it, over the course of the last year or so, we've been engaging in a very in-depth process with this community to make sure that we choose a library that works for North Portland. And actually, it all traces back to the levy that the citizens of Multnomah County passed in 2006. And that levy assured that there was funding for a new North Portland library. And at that same election, the people in North and Northeast Portland elected me to be the county commissioner representing this district. And so I've had the honor and the responsibility of leading this process to make sure that we give you what you deserve and what you've demanded and what is long overdue. And in the course of doing that, we've really made an effort to be as inclusive and as transparent and as accountable as possible. I don't want to bore you by telling you everything we've done over the last year, but I will let you know that we did send out all sorts of letters to realtors, to commercial property owners. We've had a number of public meetings. We had three public meetings last year, all to get people to solicit ideas, just possible locations. And we took all of these locations and we studied them to see which ones actually were suitable for a library. And through the course of that, we narrowed it down to 3 finalists. And those 3 finalists were asked to make formal presentations to our county facilities and to the library to make sure that the sites actually worked as a library. And out of those, 2 finalists emerged. And those 2 finalists are what we're referring to as the Argyle site, which is the site that TriMet owns 2 blocks up, and the North Denver site in the next block, which is Craig Osbeck's building. The good news is, both of those sites really work well for a library. They both have the necessary civic presence. They work physically for a library. The cost is very similar. So regardless of which way we went, the bottom line is this community would be getting a new library. But I had to actually make a decision. Or actually, I should be more focused about what this really is. What I'm going to be doing is making a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners. And the Board of County Commissioners is going to be voting on it. It's my expectation that they'll give a lot of deference to this because of the tremendous public process. But that's what formally is happening. And tonight I wanted to tell you what my recommendation is going to be. But in doing that, I also want to acknowledge that I love drawing and having fun. I want to acknowledge that both developers of both sites were fantastic, extremely willing to work with us and to meet our needs, and extremely willing to try and make sure that there was the asset that the community could really value. But there were some differences between these proposals. One of them is a mixed-use site, one rehabs an existing storefront. One of them would be available in the year 2009, the other not until a year later at best. The North Argyle site, I will tell you, is an extremely exciting and potentially transformative development for Kenton and for North Portland. It's also the case that this is a development that, as we sit here right now, does not yet have financing and is not a guarantee to go forward. That gave me some pause, and I think it gave community members some pause. In the process that we've been going through, one of the things that I really wanted to focus on was the will of this community. Because it's definitely been the case, historically, that North Portland has rightfully felt ignored by the rest of the city. And has rightfully felt that processes have not led them to get what they deserve. And so I gave tremendous input and tremendous weight to the feedback from this community. And in weighing back and forth, perhaps nothing mattered more than that. And I will tell you that this community weighed in more than 4-1 in favor of the site on North Denver. It's also the case that the chairs of all the neighboring neighborhood associations sent a letter weighing in for the site on North Denver. And so although I'm very excited about the North Argyle site, and I want to hope, I think we all do, that that site gets developed as an asset for this community, what I'm going to be recommending to the Board of County Commissioners is that we build a new library on the North Denver site.
Sam, you're right to be polite. That's wonderful. I think that this was a very difficult decision for me, but ultimately, in many ways, the most important thing is this is a site that we know is ready to develop. We have a certainty that it's going to happen, and the community wants it. And I think it's really important after a 25-year period in which this community has been promised a library and not gotten one, promised a library and not gotten one, gone through processes and left feeling unsatisfied, that we take the decision that reflects the will of the community and gives us the greatest certainty of a new and, I think, transformative development. So I'm really happy to make that announcement. Thanks a lot for coming out. I guess if there's any questions, I'd be happy to take them, but really it was mostly an announcement.